Hi, I'm Jasmine O'Connor.
And I'm Charlotte Chesser.
Thank you for listening to the Youth Climate Justice Forum podcast. We are a youth-led group of climate activists working to collectively create change by empowering and inspiring our peers and our community. In this podcast, we're trying to find ways for all of us to continue to work for climate justice during and after the coronavirus.
We've seen a brief restoration of the natural world during this pandemic, as much as human industrial activity has ceased, but there is a way we can make this short-term progress last after the pandemic is over. How can we make sure that climate activism is strengthened and not undermined by the current uncertain times? Join us as we interview various talented local leaders and learn what we can all do to help. This week, we're interviewing Traci Barkely, Director of Sola Gratia Farms and avid member of the cu Solidarity Gardens. We'll be talking about her community work and how we can help the climate by gardening.
How are you today, Traci?
Oh, just great. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, I think we'll get started if that's okay with you.
Sure.
If you could just tell us a brief overview of what you do and what your job entails, that'd be great.
Sure. So I'm the director of Sola Gratia Farm. We are a vegetable farm in Southeast Urbana that is a ministry of St. Matthew Lutheran Church. We were started in 2012 to help address food insecurity in our community. So we grow vegetables and try to donate as many as possible. It's usually 25 to 30% of our yields to those that have limited food dollars. So folks that are served by the Eastern Illinois Food Bank, several food pantries, Daily Bread Soup Kitchen, Cunningham Township, Public Health, a number of other partners. So let's see, I've been with the farm since 2014. And my job is multifaceted. There's a lot of different things that I get to do. So I am working on fundraising and outreach education and the CSA program, staffing, volunteer management. There's a lot going on at this farm. Fortunately, we have a lot of different partnerships, a lot of things going on. We also have a full-time farm manager, a full-time assistant farm manager, and I think we're up to at least 7 farm hands that are working on the farm right now. And then we recently just added a position, which is an outreach education coordinator position.
That sounds great. What got you interested in working at Sola Gratia Farm?
Oh boy. So I actually had a whole nother career for over 20 years working on clean water policy.
Oh, wow.
And I really enjoyed that work and was really proud of what I was able to accomplish in that time. But it started, I think sometimes I'm definitely a field person. My interest has been in biology and ecology, and I think the further I got into like community organizing, working on the policy work, the more time I found myself behind the computer and in meetings and conference calls, that I just was feeling like I was just itching to do more hands-on work and definitely in service of our community. So I made a switch from clean water work to clean food work, and when I was working on environmental policy work, we partnered with a group called Faith in Place, and they had a hand in helping get this farm started. And so I kept my counterpart, who's now the director of Faith in Place. Every time we were together in Springfield or working on something together, I would ask him about this farm, because I just thought the concept of a vegetable farm that was mission-based, specifically addressing hunger needs in our community, was just awesome. And I really, when I was ready to make a change, reached out to the people at Sola Gratia and just said, I really want to be part of this. How can I be a part of it? And so I started as a program coordinator to help build more of the organizational part of the farm. And then 2 years later, became the director.
Awesome. Thank you. And I heard that you were talking a lot about the community and how much you really wanted to be a part of the community and share your love of the community. What community work are you, as well as Sola Gratia Farm, doing right now?
There's a lot. It's been really neat to see this grow. Our community is so blessed with so many different community groups and not-for-profit organizations, volunteer opportunities. Unfortunately, we have a really high food insecurity rate here, higher than Cook County. And it's crazy to think about, considering that we have some of the best soil in the world and feel like a rather affluent community, but there's a lot of people in need. So we, in order to get our work done and then complement the work of others, we work in partnership with the Eastern Illinois Food Bank, Public Health. We have a mobile market with, and a Share Thanksgiving program with them. We work with Jubilee Cafe and Daily Bread Soup Kitchen. We're now part of a large community gardening-wide effort called Solidarity Gardens, which is taking on a whole nother layer of partnership with Cunningham Township, Urbana Free Library, Urbana Parks District, Channing Murray Foundation. There's so much good work happening in this community, and I think sometimes it's, people like me, it's our job to find where those sweet spots are where we can be strengthening each other and being more efficient and effective in our work. So Urbana is a really special place in that way, and I'm really proud that we take care of our own and are looking for more and better ways to do that.
Yes, very nice. Thank you.
I saw on your website that Sola Gratia Farm uses sustainable farm practices. What does that mean, and why do you think farm sustainability is important?
Yeah, so since the beginning of the farm in 2012, we've been committed to organic growing practices. The fields that we started in were conventional corn and bean fields, and we've transitioned all the soil we're working right now into organic fields. We are not certified. I do want to make that clear. We've not gone through the certification process, largely because I feel like any extra time or money we have, we should be putting towards our mission of helping to feed people in our community. Respect for the certification process. But what it means is that we are doing our best to take care of the land that we're working. Agriculture is an extractive process, and you can really deplete the soil if you don't take care of it. So we do what we can to build the soil back up, take care of the biology, not only in the ground, but in our neighborhood and downstream of us. We want to make sure that our workers are safe. We want to make sure that our customers are eating our produce are safe, that our neighbors are really glad we're here and they don't feel like we're threatening them with a dangerous product. So what that means is we don't use herbicides, that every single weed seed that sprouts in our fields has to be moved either by hand or tool or tractor. It means that we grow a lot of cover crops. So we grow vegetable crops to feed people. We grow cover crops to build our soil and to put nutrients back in and biomass back in, and to bring minerals up from deeper lengths to host beneficial insects. So every time you see a bed cleared in our field of vegetable crops, either we're going to put more vegetable crops in and then follow it up later with cover crops, or we'll plant cover crops right away. So there's hardly ever bare soil at our farm. We also use crop rotation, so we're never growing crops in the same place, at least within a 3-year period, and that helps break pest cycles and also balances out the nutrients that are being used by the plants. If we use insecticides, they're organically approved and according to directions. There's a lot that comes with following organic practices, but it's really important to us that we're taking care of our environment and our people.
Yes, and I heard a little bit about what you mentioned of the cu Solidarity Gardens. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that and what your connection, as well as Sola Gratia's connection, is to them.
Sure. Okay, so Solidarity Gardens really sprung up from some interesting conversations of different partners. This spring, of course, with COVID, food insecurity not only worsened, but there were just some things highlighted that made it clear to us that there were pretty easy options for us to be feeding more people in our community. Solidarity Gardens is a network of groups, including leadership from Cunningham Township, Channing Murray Foundation, and Red Herring Vegetarian Restaurant, Sola Gratia Farm, Urbana Free Library, Urbana Parks District. And the whole point is to get more people gardening and growing food in our community, And secondly, to get more of that food that's being grown to be given to those in need and folks that are struggling right now. So like I said before, we've got a lot of good soil in our community, and whether it's people digging up their yards with support from us, or the Urbana Park District has just been fantastic in opening up additional plots at their community gardens at Meadowbrook Garden, Victory Park. We have plots available to us through Randolph Community Garden and Lakeland Community Garden. There are plots through Champaign Park District at Dodds Park. We have a few churches that are tearing up lawns that want to put food in. So part of this is a network of people that are talking about where there's available growing space. There's private citizens that are also offering their land or their yard for someone else to grow on. We're offering free seeds through the Urbana Free Library Seed Library and also through Sola Gratia Farm. We're offering free seedlings, and those are coming both from our farm, from Student Sustainability Farm, from growers throughout our community. We've had a big tool drive, so we are taking donations of tools as people have extra time and are cleaning out their basements and their garages. We're asking folks to give, any good gardening supplies like tools, buckets, hoses, to us at Sola Gratia Farm, and then those are being redistributed to people that want to garden but don't have them, have what they need. And then we have a garden consultant, so that's MJ Oviat, who is our outreach education coordinator. So she's helping to teach people how to grow and encourage them to plant succession, and we'll be advising on pest management and companion planting. And then finally, the last piece is making sure that food that's being grown can be coordinated and donated through several different outlets. And we're still working out and listing out where those places are going to be. One obvious one is through Channing Murray Foundation Red Herring Vegetarian Restaurant, because right now they are cooking prepared meals and pairing them with groceries and basic supplies and getting them out through their bucket brigade to folks in need that have been identified by Cunningham Township. And then we also have a mobile market every Friday afternoon on Colorado Avenue, where we'll be getting produce that's being donated out to the community, and then we'll have a few other spots as well. So that's a lot of different things. We have a really awesome website and Nation Builder platform that's coordinating and basically pairing people who have land, have tools, have plants and seeds with people that don't, and trying to make this more of a community-wide effort to help feed each other and teach each other.
Yeah, I think it's really important as well to kind of build a gardening community and advocate for gardening, because I think so many people overlook it as one of the things that they can do to help their environment and to combat climate change, because gardening is so good for the environment because it reduces air pollution, and it also provides food for people, animal, and insects, and it can lower one's carbon footprint. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think, time is a limiting factor often. And right now, because of COVID, the one silver lining is that people have time, and we're seeing a lot more volunteerism, where it's safe to do so. And gardening is just such a, it's such a positive feedback loop. And I think just for all the reasons you mentioned, and then also for connecting humans, back to each other and helping each other in an easy way. I'm really excited about this new venture.
Yes.
Do you have any tips for people who don't have like a green thumb and want to help the environment by starting a garden at home?
Oh yeah. So one is to talk to your neighbors and talk to your friends who do have green thumbs, and just ask if you can hang out and watch. And I think so much of gardening is just experimentation and observation. And I think too many people have one negative experience and think that they can't do it. I hear that at market all the time. I can't keep this cilantro plant alive, or this basil plant, or my tomatoes were stolen by squirrels last year. And boy, there's so many different ways to grow, and there's also so many variables you can't control. That's what we as farmers know. There's a lot of things you have to just be willing to let go of and just keep trying. I think honestly the most important piece of gardening is to be present and to be Well, to be present, like you need to be there daily watching what's happening, and if the plants are thirsty, or if you're starting to see some pests, or if you're starting to see some rabbit activity or whatever, because too many times I think people get really excited and get a head full of steam and get things in the ground and they have this beautiful garden, and then they walk away and they don't visit often enough, or and I think a lot of times the plants are telling you what they need and what they want, but it takes paying attention.
Yeah. And I have a question, because we, as the Youth Climate Forum, we're a youth-led forum, and we really love inspiring the youth and incorporating them in every way that we can. And I was wondering if you have any ways that you think that the youth in our community can contribute to the efforts that the CU Solidarity Garden as well as Sola Gratia Farm are putting in place.
Absolutely. So I can say first, for Sola Gratia Farm, we have a very robust volunteer program. And even though it's changed a little bit because of COVID, like, we're all wearing masks in the field and we have to work a little further apart, and we've ceased all of our volunteering in our wash pack station. But we have so many people now coming out, in different parts of the day during the week to come help us in the field. And that is an easy way to plug in. You don't have to know anything. We'll teach you what you need to know. You meet other people that are interested in this sort of work. So that's easy. And then I think Solidarity Gardens is the same thing. If you get on the website, it's very easy to navigate. If you are interested in contributing time, you just hit the dig in button, and there is a whole form, very easy to fill out, on how different ways that you could volunteer. It lays out lots of different options. I think, just being willing to try something new and saying, sure, like I can dig, I can weed, I can show up and help with distribution of food. There's a lot of different ways to plug in and not need any experience or tools or anything to start with.
Yeah. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here today and talking to us both about Sola Gratia Farm as well as the CU Solidarity Gardens. And do you have any last words for our listeners?
Well, one, I just feel really grateful to be asked to be part of this program, and I'm super proud of what you guys are doing. I know when I was working on water issues and more environmental policy issues, it was really the youth enthusiasm and a dream for a better future that just can get a lot done. So what you guys are doing together, especially in this challenging time of COVID, to keep talking about these issues and working on them, I'm proud to be a part of it. So thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Traci.
you so much.
Have a great rest of your day. And we hope to see you soon at Sola Gratia Farms or working somewhere else. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Youth Climate Justice Forum podcast. Be sure to tune in next week.